Welcome to another edition of the Dementia Care Partner Talk Show. Now, here's dementia care expert Teepa Snow and your host, Greg Phelps.
Hello and welcome to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. My name is Greg Phelps. Joining me once again is dementia care expert Teepa Snow. And in case anybody has ever wondered, Teepa never knows the subject of our podcasts in advance.
Never knows the subject. You're right. So I'm just now anticipating. It's called anticipatory, not distress, but I'm on high alert. My amygdala is like, okay, it's going to be one. Let me have another drink of coffee. It'll all work out. Let's see what he does. Let me make sure I swallow before he gets to the punchline. Like
today, how does one get to be a dementia care expert? And this is, not being my usual flip self. I'm actually curious. Was it something you set your sights on, or did you look at what was going on and say to yourself, well, that's not right? Because for many years, you were pretty much a voice in the wilderness. So, what brought the spotlight on you and the training you offer?
Yeah. Well, I've never thought of myself as an expert. I've always thought of myself as someone who's intensely curious and skillful in certain ways, so that what I figured out and where I went from research and knowledge into practice allowed me to do things with people who were living with dementia and their care partners in ways that people hadn't ever seen before, I guess. And so it started there. It was more word of mouth and opportunities to do speaking events and training events where people go, wow, why don't they teach this in da-da-da school? And it's like, well, I'm not sure. It's like, well, this is just like reasonable. Why don't people do this? And it's like, well, I'm not sure why not, but it's a good idea to try it. And then I have been involved in research and educational settings. And so I'm traveling all over the world, but there is no process by which one could, other than saying you are and people believing you are. There's not a international group that determines who has expertise and who doesn't. So, you have to sort of shop around carefully, in my estimation, because sometimes people will say things like, we can cure Alzheimer's. And it's like, oh, let me go look at that. Because, I go look at somebody's claim that they can do that. And it's like, I would think they would be pretty expert. And it's like, yeah, I'm not actually seeing a cure for this condition in this work. So I won't endorse that. I won't say, yeah. I'll say, there are pieces of this that make sense that you can improve abilities. And so, I'm pretty committed to that triad of experience, research, education, sort of making sure that they're all linked in a way that we support life that has value and purpose, but it's based on fact and not fiction.
One of the key words that you didn't say, I sort of thought you would, but was curiosity, because you must be an incredibly curious person, because I can walk by a problem 10 times and justify not having to deal with it. But you always go, In fact, I think that's one of your favorite poems, isn't it? And then the little light bulb comes on.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting is people say, God, how can you be so observant? How did you notice that? And it's like, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I am a scanner, which early on in my life, my mom, we were in the era of, sign your kid up for experiments. What the heck? Let them experience things. So she'd sign me up for any experiment they were doing on psychology or kid development or whatever. And so I would be on the receiving end. And I tested as more of a male explorer than I did a female sort of nurturer. So I am someone who's super curious, and I explore the environment in a way that allows me to notice things that are happening, maybe not happening, things that are in a location that it stands out to me. So I'm great at spotting animals in trees and things like that when we're on nature walks. But I'm also pretty skilled at noticing, that interaction isn't going well. Let's take a look at that. Oh, wow, that's an interaction. Look at the energy there. So it gives me that ability to look at environment, people, task, props, and the programming agendas that people might have, and sort of notice it and see how it's going. It's going great, it's going neutral, it's going, oh, down the toilet. And then creating something that might allow people to move out of that space and into something else. So that's the other piece of it, is my curiosity leads to action for me, not just curiosity and go back to the office and write up a paper. It's like, okay, hey, Greg, I wonder what would happen. May I? And you're getting permission is like, yeah, okay. And then we try something. And I believe in the power of try being the thing that changes our brains from where they are to something else.
So in all of your learning, have you come across some ideas that you just suddenly went, well, that didn't work?
Yeah. It's really interesting. Here in the States, I don't know about Canada. Here in the States, the Alzheimer's Association fosters this belief that asking yes no questions of people living with dementia is a great idea. And I mean, it's like, if you want to get a no about 70% of the time, and if you want to not really know whether, KNOW, whether somebody's actually comprehending what you're offering to them, ask yes, no questions, and whatever they tell you, then just when you say, here, would you like some coffee? And they go, oh, yeah. And you hand them coffee. They go, what are you giving me? It's like, oh, well, that's coffee. Well, I don't like coffee. It's like, well, you asked for coffee. I never asked for coffee. I mean, to me, there's so much evidence, I do mean evidence, that asking yes, no questions without establishing ability to comprehend content, and instead asking, hey, Greg, would you rather have some coffee or something cold to drink?
You've always offered choices, this or something else, because that way you're moving things forward. Otherwise, I'm just going to go, no. You know me, I'm going to go, no.
I
Walk
know.
away.
No, thank you. Not right now. I'm not interested. Not right now. No, I'm fine. Thanks. Because saying yes might actually change our interaction into something I don't want. So, it's like, why ask yes no? So, I mean, that's an example of one where I hear sort of this proposal that everybody should ask yes no questions. This is like, I think that's a really bad idea. Let me check it out. Yeah, it's a bad idea. I'm not going to recommend it. I recommend this or that. I recommend visual cues. I recommend other options because, frankly, they work better.
Teepa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
You've been listening to the Dementia Care Partners podcast, brought to you by Positive Approach to Care. For more information, go to teepasnow.com.